Hi everyone, welcome back to Language Travel Adoptee with me. My name is Emily. If this is your first time here, thanks for joining me on this channel where I love to talk about all of the tips, tricks, and experiences combined with storytelling that language learning has inspired in me. With all that being said, I am excited to share with you guys my 2023 language goals. Let's jump right in. So with Russian, I have decided that I want to take an official exam with the Recificate? I'm gonna have to see how I spelled that, which is the website that officially gives language exams for Russian online. I've only done a lot of exams for German, Spanish, and French in college, but I've never done an official exam from a language school, if that makes sense. So it makes me really nervous, but I am all about getting out of my comfort zone this year and doing things that scare me. And because this test can be done online, I won't have to travel anywhere. That is even more of an incentive to actually do it. I'm aiming for the level of B1. I have not set a specific time of the year that I want to do it, maybe mid-year or the last part of the year, however I feel comfortable, not really putting as much pressure on myself to do the test by a certain date. You can reference my other video for why I usually don't define my language goals by just one language level up here. I think it's so problematic to define your goals this way, unless you are specifically preparing for a language exam. You will see that my goals for 2021 and 2022 are a bit different than what I'm about to say to you guys for 2023. So even though I want to take a test for Russian, I do not plan to do it with any of my other 6 languages, I think at this point, that I'm learning, because I already know that I'm going to be too busy this year for all of that, so I'm not trying to increase the workload more than I already have on myself. For Arabic, I do want to absolutely 100% finish Arabic Syrian voices right here, because I think the audio is so interesting. I honestly haven't gotten through the introductions yet. I think I'm on the 3rd or 4th person who's speaking about just presenting themselves, but they talk about so many interesting topics, from the war to their hobbies to what they miss from home. This is going to be a very exciting resource, and it's something that I know I see an end to. I also would like to at least start with the 50 most used Jordanian Arabic verbs. My language level is at the level where I can start getting more into that book. I bought it when my level of Arabic was not very good. It was very beginner, and I decided to buy that book anyways because I was lacking resources in that department for the Arabic dialect that I was learning specifically. So after, what, 1.5 years of buying that book, I'm going to make it a mission to definitely start that book this year. For Italian, I'm going to make it really, really simple. Just continuing to read the Harry Potter series in Italian only. I'm having so much fun. I actually began with the 3rd book because that's the first PDF that I found that was free online. I'm going to continue reading the series of unfortunate events in both Spanish and French, whichever language I find, whichever book. There are about 13 books in that series, and I haven't been able to find all 13 books in French or all 13 books in Spanish. This is why it's kind of like a nice combination. But also continuing to consume enjoyable material for Spanish. My level is good enough to where I can really diversify my resources without feeling overwhelmed by what I'm learning. Just looking for new podcast recommendations always is helpful if you have any to write in the comments below. For German, I'm actually planning to just take one speaking lesson just about for 30 minutes a month. So that will really help me maintain my high German level and keep me still working on German a little bit. It kind of holds me accountable in that way. It's hard to talk just super freely about anything when I'm teaching students. The class is made for them and not me. So I want to stick to their needs in that class, and I'm trying to slowly work on maintaining mine in German. I also plan to journal for about 10 minutes 5 times per week in German as well, which I think will help with relaxation because I like to journal anyway. I'm just using another language in order to do that in my daily life. Turkish, I am just going to do however I see fit. I've kind of started watching Çilek Kokusu again, which is a Turkish drama series. I think I tried to watch it whenever I was still a very big beginner in Turkish, and I returned to it, I think even yesterday night, and was surprised how much more I could understand without having to use a dictionary or repeat what I saw. So that was very promising. However, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself for Turkish. I really want to improve my Arabic and my Russian. I think Turkish will just be on the side as like a small side project that I can go to. I would like to continue taking lessons, at least some conversation lesson maybe. So taking a Turkish lesson maybe every 2 weeks. But if I don't make it, then that's okay because my priority is Arabic and Russian. So the last goal is to actually add a new language for 2023. I try to space out my languages a lot. I feel like every time I want to learn a new language, I want to learn it well. And I want to learn it up to at least a high intermediate level where I can pretty much make myself understood and understand most situations. I try to not put pressure on myself to add a language and then learn it within 1 year, because what is learning? It has a lot of definitions for that. And even reaching a B2 takes a lot of effort. Trying to reach a B2 in one language while maintaining everything else that's going around me is too much, I think. So that's why I have not added a language probably for the last, in about 2 years, more or less. And so I think I'm finally ready, probably towards the middle of the year, add another target language to my list. Some possibilities that I'm thinking about are Swahili, the classical sort of literature Arabic, Farsi, or Portuguese. I know that a lot of those have more roots in the language families that I've already been learning, so I'm not really sure how I want to branch out. Just a reminder to all of you, you do not have to have language learning goals. January 1st is not some magic number, and the end of this year is not truly magic either. It is important to define what you feel is right for your goal. If your goal is to study 10 languages this year, that is great, I applaud you. And if your goal is to do nothing, or you are taking a break from language learning to do something else, or also do nothing, I applaud you too. You know your limits. I've definitely discovered more of mine during this year, which is why I'm definitely not putting so much pressure on myself for these goals as I did for last year or the year before. A tiny reflection on my goals from last year. I know that I have not reached all of them. I'm definitely not at the level that I think I wanted to be at a year ago if you had asked me the same question for Russian. Same thing for Arabic. Same thing for Spanish. I think I may have reached my French goal, which was to be a B2. But again, I felt myself letting go of my commitment to those goals throughout the year, either because they were just too realistic or I changed my mindset a lot throughout this year about what language learning means to me and how I want to define success in language learning. I didn't reach pretty much most of my goals actually for 2022 in language learning that I had set back in, I think, of December 2021, and I'm okay with that. I'm excited to hear about you guys' goals as well in the comments. Make sure you let me know what you have planned, if you have anything at all, and we will see each other next week as always for another video.